Hello, my love. Welcome to another episode of Blisstopia podcast. I'm your host, Mercedes Castellani, and I'm so excited to be recording this episode. Today, we're going to talk about doing the inner work and creating a life you're actually obsessed with. And today, I decided to bring into the show Catalina. Catalina Galvez is a senior product design manager at the Delivery Hero. She's a Lagree Fitness Instructor. She's originally from Chile. She lived in Argentina, in Colombia, and now she's based in Berlin, where she lives with her husband and her doggy Filippo, who is so cute, by the way. Formerly a journalist, she transitioned into user experience design and more recently into fitness coaching. Cata is also one of my dear clients. She joined the Blisstopia Life Transformation Program in November 2023, and then she also joined the SheThrives Retreat in March 2024. So welcome, Cata, to Blisstopia Podcast.
Super. Thank you for the intro. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And remember that we met like 10, 11 years ago, right? 12, I think, back when we were students. Where was it? In Germany, Norway, Argentina? I don't remember, but in a business
some country
session. I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm your biggest fan. So everything that you do, I'll follow you. The retreat, the coaching, everything. Biggest fan of you.
Yes, with Cata we met, I think, so many years ago, 10, 12, 15. I've lost count.
Mm-hmm.
We were two very, very ambitious students, and we were part of this group. We used to go to many business conferences around the world, and it was kind of this little group, and we would all go together to conferences in Argentina, in Chile, in Germany, in Norway, and we had so much fun, and we met so many amazing people during those years. Sure. And then Cata is part of that group. I was part of that group, and we had so much fun together. And then more recently, we came in contact, in 2023, when Cata wanted to have some changes in her lives. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's start by the very beginning. Tell us more about yourself. I've presented you, but tell us more about yourself.
Well, as you mentioned, I'm from Chile. I haven't lived in Chile, I think, in the last 12 years. So after Chile, I moved to Argentina. I lived there for 5 years, then 5 years in Colombia. And now it's been more than 2 years in Germany. So my life has been a lot of adaptations, bumpy rides, change of careers. As you mentioned, I studied journalism and strategic communications. But I don't know, like 5 years afterwards, I shifted to UX design, digital design, always working with tech companies, building and enhancing experiences for users, specific depending on the industry that I was working at the moment. So it has been a bumpy ride. And now, yes, I'm working at Delivery Hero as a design manager, super talented group of designers. I really like my job. I love what I do. But yes, it has been a lot of adaptations, and from Chile to Argentina and Colombia, even though, it's Spanish, it's kind of the same. We know we're pretty different, but like from Latin America to Germany was like a whole new world, right? So it was not that easy for me to jump right away to what is to live here. So that's why I got in touch with you, and I needed your guidance and support because I kind of lost a little bit of who I was when I moved here. So yes. I'm married. I met my husband in Colombia. As you mentioned before, we have a Sheltie, a crazy dog. He had struggles as well to adapt to Germany. Imagine if a dog, an animal imagine a person that has to live and had a lot of other responsibilities. So we all were like, okay, this is Germany, bring it on. And we came here and it's like, language barrier, culture barrier, like lots of different things that you didn't know that it's going to happen. You assume, but then of course facing it, it's different. Whether family, like of course, pretty far away more than ever. So yeah, a lot of changes. So that's a little bit about me. Well, you mentioned Lagree, and we're gonna be talking about Lagree, something that I discovered here, and now it's actually my new personality. But we can dig deeper afterwards. But yeah,
we're gonna dig into that.
I'm a Lagree Fitness Instructor since September last year already. 4 or 5 months working on that, and I love it. It has changed my life. But I can explain a little bit better what it's Lagree and everything. Later on.
Amazing. Yeah. So let's rewind in time. Let's go back in time. You mentioned you moved obviously to different countries, from Chile to Argentina, from Argentina to Colombia. That's still very similar, culture, similar language, similar mindset if you want. Then you moved to Germany, And that was very different. And that's when you entered into your self-development journey. So let's rewind back in time. How were you feeling at that time when you got in Germany and before you entered into the coaching process, the retreats? How were you feeling back then?
Before moving to Germany, we lived in Medellin, in Colombia. You can see lots of green. It was like in the middle of the jungle, the weather, the people, culture, everything was like fun and like happiness. And we were really happy there, actually, to be honest. We didn't want to change anything, but I received this job offer and it was like a really good opportunity for us. Let's see, let's test, let's see how it goes. We've been always wanted to live in Europe, the both of us. So let's test it, right? So we came with that test mode mindset. Let's see how it goes. But as I mentioned in the intro, it was tougher than we thought that it's gonna be, right? So I was just living my day to day, just like receiving my salary, paying the bills, and then another day and another day and another day. You know, I feel like I lost who I was. What was my main goal, my mission? And it was amazing that as a couple, we were actually help us to be more like solid. That's great. I never lost that part, but as a Catalina myself, I was like, who the hell am I right now? Right? So that's how I was feeling. It's like, I'm here. This was our dream. We thought that it was our dream. We're living the dream. And it's not that as good as we thought it was going to be, right? So I felt lost and I didn't know who I was. So that's how.
And then I think in your case, you moved to Germany and that's when things kind of like this situation was generated. But I feel many people can relate to you in the sense that many times we're living in autopilot, right? Paycheck to paycheck,
Exactly.
do the things that we need to do. We work, we pay taxes, and that's it. And there's nothing more. And we feel like there's something off. I'm supposed to be doing more. I know in my heart that I could be more, I could be doing more, but this is just the way things are right now.
Exactly. Yes, and I love to do sports. In Argentina, I remember while I was younger, I would go like every day. And then, I don't know, in Colombia as well, like, but here I couldn't find my space, my group, my sports, anything. I was like, yeah, I go to the gym, but yeah, without any purpose. It's just because I gotta go, I gotta do it, right? And it was terrible because at one point I found myself crying every day without any reason. I was like, when I was by myself, right? Because when I was with people, you can stay super outgoing. I'm a manager, so of course I gotta be there, making my designers shine, build a safe space for everyone around, build strategy. So there, I feel like I have a purpose, but in my personal life, I felt myself, found myself crying every time I was walking my dog and I would cry. Then I was taking a shower, I would cry. I'm in the gym, I was crying. Made that as my day to day, a routine. My routine was to cry every time when I was by myself. And, I don't know, I felt like it was already in a habit and I haven't seen my family for a year by that time. And even though, as I mentioned before, haven't lived in the past 12 years, I've always was lucky to see my family and reunite with them every 3 months, every 6 months. I remember that the one time that I didn't see them for more, I don't know, it was like 8 months, I think, right? So, but then I haven't seen them for a year. So of course that affected me as well. I'm really close to them. They live in Chile, all of them. So I don't know. That's how. And for me, it was okay because if you feel bad, you feel like down, it's okay that you have the space to let the feelings go out, right? It's okay to cry. But if you cry every day, it's not good, right? So then my husband saw me one time that I was crying all by myself in the room. He was like, "What, Cata, what is happening?" And I told him, it's like, something's off with me. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's the first step that I need to take to get better. I don't know. I feel lost. So yes.
Yes, so you were feeling lost. It was a lot of change, many things to process. There was also a loss because Colombia, it's such an amazing country with amazing weather, kind people, great food. And there was a lot of loss in that change. You gained many things by moving to Germany, but also you both lost many things as you moved to Germany from Colombia.
Exactly.
So that is the way you were feeling. So how did you feel after the coaching process and the retreat? What shifted for you inside? What happened?
I remember that when we met the first session, you asked me, what do you want to work together? And I remember that I told you, help me find myself. And I think it's a huge responsibility for you, right? As a coach, to help someone to get back on the path when you don't know what's that new path gonna be. It's super tricky. I remember you were like, okay, so let's start from the basic. And we were like just discussing, talking just like how we're doing right now. And I remember when I was feeling super down and my husband found me, he was like, you gotta go to Chile, meet your family, let's see. So I went to Chile after a year that I haven't been there. And when I came back, I was like, that's enough. I already saw them. I know that they are okay. Nothing has changed, but I changed. So let's see who this new Cata is. So what depends on me, what I can control, what is out of my control. I don't speak German yet. I have lived here in 2 years, my husband as well. So the language barrier is super tough here, super tricky, and the bureaucratic stuff and a lot of, language barrier. It's a bumpy ride not to know in German, and I know it's on my bucket list. I gotta do this year, but you struggle with that. And I was like, okay, what are the things that I can do? What is under my control? And I want to be this new Cata. Mers, help me. So after the coaching and the retreat, what shifted in me was like, let's build a plan. Again, what is reachable? What is under my reach? What can be done in the short term, mid, long, and really understand. And what is my dream? What is like my vision? I remember that you told me, like, how do you see yourself in 5 years? Okay, but to accomplish that, let's do tiny steps, baby steps until you get there, because you see, like, you start dreaming and you want to get there, jump fast. But again, what is under your control, right? So after that, I felt with a purpose. It's okay to dream. You can dream big and you can have it if you then like organize everything in like little chunks or little steps, and then you go step by step without feeling losing the north. And of course, asking for help. Actually, that was one of the biggest things that I learned as well after the retreat and the coaching with you, because I went with you without knowing what I want to be, what I want to do, but I knew that I needed help, right? So it was good. And in the retreat, I met a lot of wonderful women that I was like in the same with different things. My challenge was Germany, the new Cata in Germany, right? But I met a lot of other women that are probably older, a little bit younger, but we are all in the same mood, like trying to find the new ourselves now and building this amazing network of helping and empowering each other, right? So after the retreat and the coaching, for me, it's like, I wouldn't be the person I am right now with those two instances and amazing moments that I have.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I think, as you said, it's really interesting because you went from this place of not having a dream. You know, the dream was Germany. You got there, and now what? You're a very ambitious woman as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of energy in there. There's a lot of fire in there, and that fire needs to be directed somewhere. And I think you were in Germany, you got that job, and now what? And I remember that we also reframed a lot what Germany meant for you, right? What is Germany? Are you actually planning to stay here? If you're going to stay here, what's the dream here? And I think once you were able to direct all of that energy towards a dream, that fire was back again. And now you're the Cata that, you know, you've always been a very powerful woman, a very ambitious woman. It was just that you needed to find what was next for you. What was the next big thing that was moving your heart, that was moving your energy. And then you were able to find it in Lagree. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
and I'm really happy. I'm really happy that you were able to redirect that energy towards your dream. And then that gave you the sense of purpose. Now you're waking up super early, going to bed early, you're working, you're walking your dog, you're doing maybe all of the things that you were doing before, but with a different energy, because now everything makes sense. There's a huge purpose behind everything that you're doing. Exactly. So which were like your biggest insights and aha moments inside of the Blisstopia Life Transformation Program?
I think it would be this a little bit of what I mentioned before. Is like, if you need help, like ask for it. And it's okay, like if you feel down, to give the space for specific feelings and let it out, talk about them. But when it's time, okay, now it's time to execute. Action, right? Action. So let's dream together. Let's see how you see yourself, and then let's organize step by step. So actually that helped me a lot. And now every quarter I do like a vision board. I unite with some friends that are in the same like mood and like with the same purpose that I am, so that we empower each other and we are in this like, I don't know, safe space where we are just like wanting the best for the other one, you know? So those were the biggest aha moments and insights, because yeah, it was like 3 months, and it was 1.5 years ago. I don't know, Merce, when was it that we had it? It was already like a long time ago,
Yeah,
but
we finished 1 year ago.
but every time it's like even though it's already over for a year, what I learned there, I put it in practice on a daily basis. So yes, pretty powerful.
It's deep, long-lasting transformation. It's not just while we are on the program, but it's ways of thinking, ways of doing things that will stay there and they compound over time. And maybe we're going to talk in 5 years and they will still be there in a different, bigger way.
Exactly.
And it's really interesting what you said, that now you have this group of women that you guys meet and you talk about your dreams. Because I've been thinking a lot about this recently. It's like there's kind of like two moods that we can be in. Either we are suffering in victimhood, not really knowing where to pour our energy, so out of alignment, or we can be in alignment, meaning that we know what we want, we're going after that, and everything feels like light, easy. There's a lot of effort still, but everything makes sense. And I'm really happy to hear that you found this group of women who are also on the same journey and really chasing their dreams. And I think the conversations when we are around people like that are so different. You know, if you have your own dreams, there's a sense of what you want to do, and then you are with a group of people who are not in that space, who are maybe complaining, in victimhood, with lack of motivation and all of that, there's going to be some conversations that are going to happen over there. But if you're with a group of people who are, you know, going after their dreams, who think that your dream is absolutely possible, and they're going to support you and they're going to cheer you along the way, the conversations are so different.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just about choosing in which table do we want to sit, actually.
Exactly. And now that we are older, you choose wisely who you want to be with, because your time and energy is your most precious thing. And now I can safely say that after the retreat, I have like a new group of friends. Well, we met like twice already. We keep in touch. And then, I don't know, I went to Dubai last year in December, and one of them is living there, and we had a drink together. And it was like, I know this girl I was in Mallorca. It was like only 4 days the retreat. But I feel like I know her from all my life, right? And we were there talking, and it was only, I don't know, like less than a year that we saw each other after the retreat, and then there in Dubai. And we've accomplished so many things, the two of us, after the retreat. It's like we were already total different persons from when we met, like 7 months back, right? So it's great to have that space and to empower yourself with other people that want the best for you, even though you don't know them each other really well, but they want the best for you as well, just what you mentioned. So yeah.
So talking about the SheThrives Retreat in Mallorca, which were your biggest insights and takeaways with this community of amazing, like-minded women?
I would say there was a workshop that I really loved. I think it was actually the last day, that it was like trying to break this like limiting beliefs that you may have that are stopping you to achieve what you want to achieve. And it was so deep, was so powerful. And actually we share where were the stoppers or blockers that, stop us to achieve. And then you could see, I'm just inventing, but for instance, if you want to, first, and I can share this, it's okay, but to become a Lagree instructor, for me, I don't have a fitness background. So I was like, how can I become a Lagree fitness instructor? And I was starting comparing myself to other people that, of course, have spent their entire life to be a fitness instructor. So that was one of my limiting beliefs. Like, I can't because I don't have it, because probably I'm not that fit enough, or because I don't look like all the other instructors look, and I would pull myself down with all this. And everyone was like, Cata, but you already know this and that. Cata, you are good. You are healthy. Cata, you know 3 languages. Cata. And all of them were seeing in me something that I wasn't seeing, So it was really good. And that workshop for me was really powerful, because then I was like, this is stopping me to become what I am. And actually, it's not real. I don't know why I have this, because of, I don't know, what I was educated to believe, because maybe it was where I've lived before. It depends on the culture. It depends on 1,000 things that make you believe that you can't. But then when you challenge that and you have a group that tell you that, yes, you can, it's like, you start to believe that actually I can. And then we go back to the aha moments of the coaching, like, okay, I can, I will, but how? And then you start organizing your time. What are you capable of doing now, right? What is under your control? So I think that workshop was super eye-opening, and I really loved it. And the financial part, sorry, as well, was pretty good. We have some workshops there. My husband loves fintech and crypto and everything. And whenever he brought a topic to the table to talk about, it was like, yeah. And I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. Actually, because I was never interested in that, because I don't know, I'm interested in other stuff, and it's okay. But then after the retreat, I could go back to him, and it's like he wanted to talk about anything. It's like, yeah. That was really good in their workshop there. Helped me to organize my finances with basic stuff to more advanced. So because all of us were in different levels, but I think we could have a super healthy conversation without boundaries and without judgment as well. You don't know this, you don't know how to invest. It's okay. I can teach you how. This, and that. This is like a more advanced method, more advanced level, but it was super good that if you don't know something about you or about any specific topic, there you have the safe space where you could learn from each other and then always have an action point. And I really love action points. After a conversation, okay, what is my take after that? And what I can do is like, I'm super like on that with that. So I think that's after the retreat. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you learned all of these things on the Life Transformation Program. You learned all of these things with an amazing group of women in the SheThrives Retreat. And that was, so we finished coaching in February 2024. We did the retreat exactly 1 year ago. So March 2024. And what did you do after all of that? So what happened during all of these months? How did you transform all of those insights into actions in 1 year? What happened after all of that?
I started believing that I could. I remember that you said once, it's like, be it until you are, right? There's another say, but I don't know if I can curse here, but it's like, do it until you are actually doing that, right? So I was like that. I was like, okay, what's the Cata that I want to be? Well, Cata is healthy. Cata takes care of herself mentally and of course physically. I started like building this new Cata, what I would like to be. And then I started doing like, I don't know what has Berlin to offer me, because I was always seeing like the negative things. No, the weather, I don't know, cold winter, it's gray. Then I don't know the language, I don't know, bureaucratic barriers, and I don't know, tax, everything negative. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want more and like negative vibes or energy. Only positive. I know it's like super, but I wanted that. It's like, what's the good things that Berlin has to offer for me? Okay, so, and I started linking that to the Cata that I want to become, right? So then I was like, okay, I want to be more, I don't know, I would love to meditate. I would like to be by myself and really digesting how was my day, or when I start my day, like with a purpose. So that's when I started go to yoga, to meditation. I actually did this Kundalini session as well, like trying to find different things that Berlin has. That's the amazing thing about Berlin. It's like whatever you want, you find it. And if you don't, you create it. It's like super open on that. And I really like that. And food and restaurant and everything is super open on lots of cultures. And it's amazing what you can find here. So I was like, okay. So I was embedded in this brand new world with everything of the offers that I had. And I started doing click. And that's when I went to my first Lagree class. It was already 1 year and a half, I think. No, well, because it was after the trip to Chile. So it was before the retreat and after our coaching, but in this like mindset of testing, trying what was out there that can potentially benefit me. I found Lagree. I went to a session there and it blew my mind off. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? So I started practicing that. I started going like 3 or 4 times per week. So of course I started seeing benefits in my body, in my mind. Then I was like, I need to, in my professional life, I would like to go back to learn a little bit. So then I applied to some scholarships and I went to Harvard to a session that was there. It wasn't provided by Harvard, but it was in Harvard for a week about innovation, AI. And I wanted to be already embedded in those topics because I know it's already happening. It's already here, right? But 1 year back, so I was like, what can be done for this new Cata? And I started like to accomplish it and moving a lot nonstop. It's like, no, execution mode. Now it's okay. 2 years, I was lost. I was crying. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel down. I asked for help and then, okay, chop, let's do it. Time for action because no one will come to save me. It's my life. It's now. It's happening now, So I had that shifting mindset. And so that's what I've been in the last year. And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's like, I need to stop because it's like, what comes next? What comes next? So it's okay to have that, but it's okay to as well enjoy the present, right? Because otherwise it's always like, what comes next? And we'll still get suffocated and like in this mindset of nonstop, and it's not going to be healthy, right? But yeah, I think that's it. I still on my work. I really love it. I'm changing teams, in the next quarter. So lots of changes, but there I was like, I like this. Let's learn more. What else? Well, in health, then we used to go out a lot to eat out like in restaurants or whatever, or like delivery food. And I was like, and I started like to cook more and really understand what I was eating, so I can really understand what is good for me, what isn't, and simple as skincare or like take my vitamins, stuff like that I didn't. But now I can see 1 year after how healthy I am, how active, active as well. And like you live life more with joy, So I think that has been like a complete 180 change in every scope of the life. I try to do it. What can I do? Tiny little, as it is, but tiny little steps, month by month.
I'm so happy for you. Well, when we say life transformation program, it actually is a life transformation program.
Yeah.
What were you say are the emotions that you have now on a daily basis? So which emotions are normally in your body now? What do you feel?
Like I'm unstoppable. I think that's it. Unstoppable. It's like whatever I want. Sometimes it's not the perfect time, but again, what it's under my control to get to that point. I like to enjoy the ride. That's it. So that way I can have a focus, what to do and what I can do day by day to achieve that.
Amazing. And we mentioned Lagree many times. So let's talk about your love at first sight. For a woman who has never heard what is Lagree, because I didn't know what Lagree was until you mentioned it to me.
I know.
So what is Lagree and why do you love it so much?
Okay, so, already said that I went to a session. I didn't know anything about it. And I thought that it was like a Pilates class, and I never taken a Pilates class neither by that time. So I was like, okay, let's see what is this. It's a big machine. So I was like a little bit, okay, how this works. And it's 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And it's life changing because you need to be so strong mentally to do the specific exercises. If I have to explain what it is, it's super like high level. It would be like if CrossFit had a child with Pilates, right? Because it has the high intensity part of CrossFit, because it's cardio. You have fast transitions, so you have your heart rate like in between 140 up to 200 heartbeats per minute, so it's super high intensity. You are doing cardiovascular workout. And then of Pilates, it has the low, right? Everything is a slow movement. So if you're going to do a lunge, for instance, you go up, down for 1, down for 2, down for 3, down for 4, and then you go up for 1, up for 2, up for 3, and up for 4. So it challenges your mind because you're, I don't know, like a bicep curl, you 1, 2, 1, 2. No, but in Lagree, you go, as I mentioned, 4 count tempo, so it's like, it challenged your mind like I never felt before. So that's the main thing about it. So it's a high intensity, low impact. You use a big machine that is based on Pilates, but it's like an evolved Pilates. And you use a big machine that is called Megaformer, that is a more evolved as the Pilates Reformer. It's different. It has more anchoring points. It's a resistant machine. So you use weights. You have some S-straps, you have some cables so that you work out your entire body. It's like a full body workout. So the main thing is the core strength as well, because you do a lot of planks, a lot of core strengthening. So right now I see myself with a better posture as well, with better breathing, and it's a full body workout. But the main important thing is for me is this mental component that challenges you a lot. And that's why it helped me a lot when I was mentioning before, when I was a lot of voices in my head, a lot of feelings, a lot of things happening. And I found myself 45 minutes trying to accomplish a specific exercises in 4 counts down, 4 counts up. And I was like, what is this? So I forgot about everything else. It was just me and myself and my brain, and seeing how capable and strong I am to do actually something, right? So that's why I become obsessed, because it was like my therapy, better than anybody else that I tested before. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it's this 45 to 50 minutes of mindfulness because it's you, your body, breathe, your breath, and the machine. And if you don't pay
Exactly.
attention, you will fall into the ground, crumble into the ground.
Exactly.
So you need to be
Yeah.
very, very, very mindful of everything that you do.
Exactly.
So
And
what is the difference between Lagree and Pilates?
Well, Pilates is low intensity and low impact, and Lagree is high intensity, low impact. So they share the part of low impact because both, for instance, people with injuries can do it. Pilates is more like rehabilitation, but people that have injuries can do Lagree as well because we have slow movements. You take care of your joints, so it's super safe. Okay, so that's the low impact thing that both share. But the difference is the high intensity that it has, as I mentioned before. You have like your elevated heart rate, you are doing cardio, you have fast transitions. We do a lot of pulses to keep, of course, time under tension and this like cardio part as well. So that's the main difference. And as I mentioned before, the machine as well. In Pilates, you can do mat Pilates, reformer Pilates. It's like a lot of other depending on the type. But in Lagree, you always only can do Lagree with this specific machine that I'm saying, the Megaformer. It has a lot of versions, but you need the machine to perform Lagree. And something that is amazing about Lagree actually is like the main like 3 things that you got to achieve. It's like you gotta shake, you gotta sweat, and you gotta feel sore the day after. So by doing this slow control and continuous movements, you start shaking because your muscle, you activate the slow twitch muscle fibers, that those are only activated if you go slow. So with all the time under tension, with the perfect range of motion, with the perfect form and alignment, and with the perfect like setup, you start shaking. You're shaking, and you then, of course, sweat because of the cardio. And the day after is like a healthy, like resoreness. That's why I call it, because you feel strong. You feel like, okay, I accomplished. And then you can never reach a plateau because even though you perform the same routine every day, you can still go slower. You can still go deeper. You can still go, so that's amazing because it's like every class you can progress, both mentally and of course physically. So I would say that's like the main difference.
Absolutely. And when would you recommend to do Pilates and when would you recommend to do Lagree?
I think both are amazing depending what are your objectives, because Pilates, as I mentioned before, it's like more in rehabilitation. If you had any injury, it's like more focused on that, more core strength, more mobility, flexibility, balance, those type of things. And Lagree is like muscle endurance. It's like strength. It's like strength training, right? With this high intensity and low impact as well. You won't get like bulky with Lagree, but you will have like lean muscle, tight and toner. So that's the amazing thing. So that's a little bit, actually it was created as well, like based in bodybuilding as well. Lots of exercises. It's like you are doing, of course, like the exercises that you do on the gym, like bodybuilding, but again, with this component of slow tempo. So it depends. You can do both. Actually, I do both. I love them. And I would suggest as well that, of course, a balance, right? A little bit of both. Amazing, depending on what are your objectives. And even pregnant ladies can perform it as well, Lagree. But it's not recommended that you start doing Lagree when you're pregnant and you haven't done it before, right? If you've been performing that, it's okay, but don't start doing Lagree when you just got pregnant, right? And then we provide modifications so that you are safe. There's some exercises that you can do of some specific lunges or things that we do on the air with the cables, for instance. So it's super safe. So that's amazing. And we have a lot of pregnant ladies that come. They know what they're doing and they keep enhancing and, of course, being challenged with their capabilities, right? So I think that's it. Depends on your objective and depending as well in the injury. I think that for that, Pilates can be a little bit better if you want to improve that specific part.
Amazing. And coming back to you, now that you realize that you are unstoppable, you've always been unstoppable, but now that you know it and that you move through life in that way, which is beautiful to watch, what are you wanting to manifest moving forward? What's next for Cata?
Oh, actually, it's funny because now Lagree is my life, Mercy. It's so weird because a year back, I didn't know that this exists, right? Now, I don't know. I would love eventually to have my own studio, to be honest. I don't know if in Germany, I don't know if in Chile, in Colombia, in Argentina, I don't know where. but it's gonna happen. I manifested it because I'm so in love with this but if I can, or I would love like to help more people, just like Lagree helped me when I was struggling, when I fell down, when everything that I shared with you before, to be that channel, that. And I know that with Lagree, I can do it. So if it's a studio, amazing. If it's just being an instructor, that's what I'm doing right now. Right now, the studio is on hold. Let's see. But for now, I'm manifesting that like to help more Catas that are probably struggling with things that I was suffering, or probably what other problem, right? But that's what I want to do right now, actually, to be honest. That's why, for instance, tomorrow, I do classes at 6:30 a.m. and 7:30. And I have to wake up at 4:15 to be there, open the studio, practice my routine, set up everything, organized. And I do it with all the love in the world, it's like 4:15. Oh my God, yes, I've never felt that before. Or if I did, I don't recall with what and when, So those are the things that like really makes you feel that you have a purpose, makes you feel like full of life. Yes. Back to it, I manifest that to help more people, impact more with Lagree and potentially a studio. But right now, I think I'm accomplishing that. And I feel more unstoppable providing classes and being there and challenging myself as well with this new soft skills that I have to have as well. Because now I have to like lead 12 people, some pregnant ladies, for instance. So I have a lot of responsibility there, that they follow, they feel better with themselves, and that they are doing there for a reason and not because it's great, we want to get fit. No, like it's not about that. It's like this mental component to progress the class by class, and that we share this unstoppable like mindset as well, that you can do it. You think you can, but yes, you can. Focus, trust yourself, and you're gonna be there. You're gonna be shaking and getting stronger. Yeah.
And I'm so happy to hear you say these words, because when I started this whole thing, this whole dream about Blisstopia, the way I see things is by supporting one person to change their lives. And if that person can be happier, they're gonna change their lives around them. And then look at you, happier than ever, unstoppable. And now you're changing people's lives in Germany through Lagree, and hopefully very, very soon through your studio, wherever you decide to set it up. And it really makes my heart and my soul so happy to hear you say this and to see you living this way, feeling aligned, feeling powerful, feeling unstoppable. It's just amazing. So what would you say to a woman who's like that Cata who had just arrived in Berlin, that woman who's thinking about joining Blisstopia Life Transformation Program, but she's still hesitating, she's not feeling at her best? What would you say to that woman?
That to take it is, as I mentioned before, to ask for help. And you can go there without like a purpose, like concrete, like request or question, just like how I had. You told me, like, what do you want to work? And I was like, I don't know. Just like help me to find myself, right? Again, it's like big responsibility. So I didn't know how to frame it, to be honest, because I was so lost that I was like, I don't know, but nurse, I need you and I need your help. So I would suggest and encourage them just to go, because it's like someone that whatever you have in your life, you can improve it in any space, in any perspective. So to have like a hand that holds you and guides you with framework, specific coaching. I remember that you shared with me lots of super beneficial podcasts and meditation, then some specific music. Those little things that can, like 5 minutes of your time on a daily basis to listen to a podcast that will transform your life. But I wouldn't like be able to get to those podcasts without your support. So specifically like little tiny things that help me again to be where I am right now, I would like definitely encourage without having any specific thing or question. And if you do, the better. Amazing. If you are like, I have this specific pain or struggle or little trauma or whatever, the better. If you already identified it, the better. But if not, I would suggest either way, because it's again life transformation, and it depends on you as well how fast you can be better, right? Because you have everything, the structure, what you need to do, and it's on your own pace. You can take a little bit more time, but in my case, as you could see, I'm like, yeah. So that's why I could, because I had all this energy, all this power that no more Cata, no more frowning Cata, no, let's bring it up. So it was fast, actually. That's why I'm trying to think in my mind, like, I think it was like 5 years ago, because I've been feeling already like 5 years of happiness and like, let's keep going, let's do it. And now I see that time that I was super down was pretty far away, right? So yes, 100% recommended.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Cata. And I'm so, so, so happy for you. So where can listeners find you online if they want to, now they are curious about Lagree and they want to learn more about Lagree, where can they contact you?
Well, I have Instagram. It's my username is Catalina Galvez. I think, I won't change it just to be Lagree focused, because in there I share a lot of things about like some exercises, some benefits about Lagree, especially this mental component that I'm telling you about. I share a lot about my life in Berlin, a lot of my travels with my family here, my dog. You can find me there. And yes, I think the main thing right now, it's again, Lagree, the differences that I mentioned here with Pilates, and just to try it, different exercises and the proper form and alignment to accomplish specific exercises as well. So yeah.
Amazing. So we're going to have the link to your Instagram in the show notes. And I always like to finish the episodes with 3 rapid fire questions. So the first answer that comes to mind is the right one. So Are you ready?
Yes. Or no, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm nervous.
Okay, let's go. So when was the last time you felt bliss?
Yesterday night, actually. Should I say why or when?
Yes, if you want.
Okay. Yesterday started snowing here in Berlin. So I was talking with my husband. We were watching a series. Then we saw Filippo, our dog, like there with us on the couch. And we were just like talking about life. Then we had hot chocolate just like there. And we saw the snow falling in winter. And it was like so, I was like, this is what I need. I'm happy already, you know? So I felt like so, and I told him like, this is it. I'm already happy having you, my family. Something super simple. It wasn't like a lot that you need. It's just like that safe space. And we were talking about what's come next or what he's struggling about right now. And to have that safe space of just share our thoughts and to feel like listened and heard. Heard. I think that, so amazing. That happened beautiful. Like, I don't know, 6 hours ago. So, yeah.
Can you think of one idea that fundamentally changed your life?
One idea that changed my life. I think to never settle down. And again, it's what I mentioned before. It can be good with balance, right? Because otherwise it's like never settle and you never stop. But that mindset and idea has led me to where I am right now. From moving to Chile, then to Argentina, Colombia, Germany, shift careers, really understand what I want to do at the moment, adapt a lot, and then go for it. So I think that's never settle down and what's under my reach to accomplish that. I think that's my motto, right?
Beautiful. So beautiful. And if you could choose one rule that everybody in the world needs to obey, what would it be?
One rule: go to Lagree. Stop talking about Lagree, Cata, enough. I'm obsessed. But yeah, probably one rule. This is hard, Mers. Come on.
You can do it.
I don't want to be like super like mainstream, like super like respect to each other, stuff like that. But yeah, I would think that like do your own stuff, but respect the others and like this boundary stuff and let it the others do, but like with measure. I think that would be it, especially now that, and I've lived in different cultures, different countries. And I think respect is the main thing, because otherwise you can feel a little bit trespassed and you gotta be careful as well with the rest. So yes, I would say that.
Live and let live, and especially nowadays with everything that's happening in politics, I think it's more needed than ever. Amazing. Thank you, Cata, so much for your time, for your energy. It's just so amazing to feel your energy, feel your fire. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And I'm sure that your experience will be very inspiring to many women.
Hopefully. Yes. And if someone wants to get in touch with me, you know it. And any questions about Lagree, any questions about the retreat, of course, the coaching with Mers and life in Berlin as well. Now it's fine. Before it was everything's awful. Now come to Berlin. It's amazing. The winter is amazing. No bad energy. Remember, everything good. So I love it. So yes,
good vibes
everything
only.
That you good vibes only. So yeah, thanks for inviting me, Mers. I love to talk to you every time. Super amazing conversation. So I appreciate the invitation, and hope that we see each other soon. I don't know when, but I know it's going to happen this year.
Yes, we need to organize something with the SheThrives ladies, another trip again this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you so much for your time. Again, I will see the listeners in the next episode. And in the meantime, in Blisstopia we trust.